I am wearing these overalls because Prentice said that we were wearing overalls tonight. So thank you for not doing that. But don't worry, I don't have camel toe. I had to check that prior to coming on tonight.
Five Dirty Bikers Podcast.
Presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats. Stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Five Dirty Bikers Podcast. Another Monday, another show. Happy to be here. We're back with a couple special guests once again. We have this week's still Andi and Just Prentice. Both have joined the show as a unit. How are you guys?
Here we are.
We're good. How are you?
We're wonderful.
We're good. I'm fresh out of Uranus, so I have had a shower, just so you know. But other than that, I had a blast.
Was it hot
Sounds
and moist
like
in
it.
Uranus?
It was, and I even brought my copy of the Uranus Examiner.
Nice.
I'm extremely jealous of that. Like, I want that.
I could send this to you.
I would love it. Well, if you don't have another one, though, if you have, like, you should have got, like, 2 or 3 copies.
Well, I mean, just check this out. Get a
what
big
are the
wiener
headlines in
in
Uranus?
Uranus.
Get a
Oh
big
my God.
wiener in Uranus.
It's actually a good hot dog.
Did they have those in the men's room? Is that where you got that from?
No.
Are you talking about the paper or the wieners?
Either.
The wieners. No, they weren't open for lunch yet, so I couldn't get me a chili dog.
I need one more headline from Uranus. Just one.
One more? Okay, I
Yeah.
can read that. New world record set in Uranus.
This might be the best publication on planet Earth.
Or talk about a big boom in Uranus.
Ooh.
So here you go.
I
See,
don't want anybody booming in Uranus. Look at that.
Oh.
Breaking
putt
news.
You
you could putt around in our number 2.
You can putt around. It literally says you can putt around in our number 2.
Yeah,
Breaking news.
they have a little mini golf course. It's called Putt Pirates. It's fantastic.
I love how committed the entire town is to Uranus.
Oh, they're
Oh,
all
you
pretty
in.
should go
impressive.
sometime. I mean, they're all in. They are all in Uranus, 100%.
Yeah, we
I
went
want to be
twice.
in Uranus.
It's a place to be.
Yeah, it seems to be. And I take anything that I ever thought would have been the most fun job in the world has now been overshadowed by journalist at the Daily Uranus or whatever. What is it called?
The Examiner.
The
The ex-
examiner.
Even better.
It's the Examiner.
This is the best thing in the world. Oh,
Yeah.
to be a
Where's
proctologist
the other
in that town.
Uranus, Dustin? It's
It's
in
in Indiana.
right? Do
Yeah.
you know where in Indiana?
It's a Google away, but I
Bend
do
over
not.
and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Well, I'm
The
going.
fact that
I'm
there
going,
are more than one Uranus.
I'm going through Indiana on the way back.
I don't know. Google it. Set it on
in
your
a
route.
few days, so
go to
maybe
number
I'll
2.
If it's there, I'll swing by and pick up another Examiner.
You don't
and,
swing by. You dive in.
You dive in.
You dive right in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many Uranuses do you think there are in this country?
Well, they just opened the second one. What, 2 years ago?
I don't think they're going to do more than 2. It just wouldn't
Yeah.
be. It'd be better if they just had. This is our number 2.
That would be the best
Yeah.
tour, motorcycle tour ever.
If
like,
you
just go to
if
every
you
Uranus.
have too many, it becomes a really shitty situation.
Or a great video.
That's true. That's true.
So next FDBM, we go from Uranus to Uranus.
Yeah. Oh, damn it!
Uranus World Tour.
I had my drone with me, and I didn't even think about driving my drone up Uranus.
You should have, dude.
You
Should have flew it up there, man. Oh well.
We could go on about Uranus, I think, forever, probably.
Probably could.
Oh, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
The jokes are infinite. I mean, you go in, every novelty or every T-shirt is another conversation starter.
Bunch
I
of
love it.
puns.
You know, Andy, you would be the perfect person to go visit Uranus. I'm sure you'd have a lot of stuff that you could teach them.
I've seen a lot, yeah, in my day.
So
I love
they're
how
actually
vague that
having
was.
a movie premiere in Uranus.
Are they looking for their the star of the to play a certain role or something?
Well, it's already been filmed, unfortunately, but they're doing a premiere, I think, in a few weeks in October.
What movie?
I think it was called
Up
like
yours?
Invading Uranus. It's like about UFOs.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
No, there's legit movie poster and everything. They're having red carpet with the
Wow.
yeah.
So did the town, like, I imagine, like, it's a pretty close-knit town. Like, did everyone, like, audition for that? Like, are they using townspeople for that?
I hope so.
Oh, man.
So, just so you know, like, Uranus is like a spot, right? It used to be a strip joint years and years ago, and they converted it into the Uranus, which is Route 66 attraction
It's a
site.
tourist trap, is what
They
it is.
do have a mayor.
Yeah.
There's, because every Uranus has to have someone in charge.
Yeah.
So they have a mayor. There you go.
Re-elect Uranus Mayor Louis Keene.
Louis Keene.
Louis
Well, I will
Keene.
tighten my grip on Uranus
Hashtag
if you
MUGA.
vote for me. I'm going to scan this and just send a PDF to everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
That's
think
fantastic.
we're actually going to be dropping this episode to relaunch our YouTube stuff. So if you're interested in seeing what Dustin's holding up, and no, we're not making this shit up. You can go to YouTube and check out the podcast and see it in black and white.
Oh, they have a love column.
Or color.
Finding love in Uranus. Love advice, page 2.
This is the greatest. Like, this could never end. And Dave's right. Like, if you go to the YouTube, you can see it. The paper is just as beautiful as you would expect.
Oh, yeah.
And how often do they drop the Uranus Examiner?
4 times a year, it looks like. They do one for every season. So this one is pretty much expired as of today because fall has started.
There's
Okay.
a new issue coming in.
New issue will be out. I ought to make a special trip to Uranus just to get another issue.
Well, I
and
should
more
have.
fudge. You get my fudge pack.
I wish I'd picked up a bunch of those because I had to make a roadside stop here at a shithole place, and they didn't have any TP, man. How do you not have TP in the bathroom?
What city is
you have a
shithole
sock?
in?
I don't know. I don't even think it was a city. It was just some gas joint off the side of 44.
I emptied
it's
the
just-
toilet
and then
paper
it's
in the
too
men's
late.
room in Rolla.
Yeah, you ever get to, and you look over and it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's too
If you
late.
walk in and you see the roll like sitting on top of the dispenser
Yeah.
and it's low, walk right back out.
Yeah, turn around, walk away.
The
And was it a
square.
single stall, so you couldn't like knock on the person and see if somebody could help you
couldn't
out?
put your hand down.
It was
covered
a
in
single
shit, and
stall.
say, hey.
Thank God though, it had like a inside the stall. It had like a place to wash your hands with paper towels. So
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
a double stall, I think what you're supposed to do if you're out of toilet paper is put your foot underneath the stall next to it and tap on their foot.
no, that's
I think
not
that's
what
what
you're
they said
supposed
to do. Yeah, that's what the politicians say anyway.
Yeah. Hi, guy.
Secret code.
No, I was gonna text the wife. They were out in the dining room. I was gonna say, go get the wipes from the car. I should have. I think I had just enough squares to get the job done.
Yeah.
How many squares is that?
That's a John Way paper, dude. It don't take shit from anybody.
But
Yeah.
if you have copies of the Uranus Examiner, you're bailed out. We've been poking around Uranus enough. What are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about something wonderful. And so everyone talks about, like, everyone has a top 5 list or top 3 list, right? One of the best things you do, or at least I used to do on a date, it's like, what's your favorite this? Get people talking, right? So tonight is kind of along those lines in that we want to talk about, and Andy backed me up on this, who we would recommend or who we would have in our motorcycle Hall of Fame, right?
Yep.
There are multiple Hall of Fames that exist.
True.
There are museums that exist, but like subjectively, who would we choose, right? I've got a couple of people on mine. I don't know how many you guys might have. Maybe 1, maybe 6. But that's kind of what we want to talk about tonight. So, whoever wants to go first, do you want me to go first? I can kick it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think we should kind of like go in a circle. So like you start, and then we'll go, and then we'll kind of keep going
Speaking of
around.
Uranus, let's just
We just got off Uranus. We're not going back to any...
You know, all those rectal exams I gave. You know, it comes back to me real quick.
So wait, do we go clockwise or counterclockwise? Like, what's your preference?
Well,
which way are the toilets flush there?
I have a method to how I'm going to deliver my my inductees, if you will.
Is it like a full ritual? You get the candles out and everything? you praise Allah and you just knuckle it?
Hey. I come prepared. So this may need to be edited out, but I'm like P. Diddy. Apparently I have all the lube I need, all right? I came prepared.
Oh, no.
No. What, too soon?
It's not for me. It's not for me.
All right. So, well,
All right.
So how do we?
You go first,
so who
Prentice.
goes? All right, let's go first. So, if you are wondering why I'm chosen first, it's because you're not watching this on YouTube, and you should be, because we're going to go in a circle. So, me being first, let's
Circle
go
jerk.
through my two people that I have chosen for my personal Hall of Fame. And we'll start with one I chose. And if we have the same one, we just rap about it, right?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So, number one for me, personally, would be Wino Willie Faulkner. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
No? Great. Well, so he was the co-founder of the Booze Fighters MC in 1946, right? Who are constantly regarded as like one of the most iconic clubs, one of the first like outlaw clubs that kind of ran against the AMA, and a lot of the inspiration for the movie The Wild One. So have you ever seen The Wild One? I think we had talked a couple of podcasts ago about in culture media. So the guy that plays Lee Marvin, the guy that in the striped shirt that plays Chino in that movie, so he was actually inspired by Wino Willie Faulkner. So not Marlon Brando, but the other guy that came through and like tried to fight. So like it was, you know, that was inspired by like the riots, and to me I think like he deserves a spot probably because like it sparked this whole culture of like motorcycle clubs, not just outlaw or, you know, 1% or what have you, but it just sparked this entire culture that was pretty controversial in that it bucked the normal trend of the AMA, but also, if you remember, I don't know how much you guys know about Harley Davidson history, but Willie G's great uncle, which one was he? Walter. Walter was like vehemently against like Harley Davidson's being ridden by, like, he wanted it to be like Honda. You meet the nicest people on a Honda. He did not want like outlaws or what he considered like this class of people riding Harleys. And it just completely got this entire movement of what Harley ended up becoming. If you remember one of the advertisements back in the 80s or 90s for Harley, it was like a bunch of long-haired motorcycle club dudes standing there with their arms crossed, and I think the text on it said, like, you wouldn't sell an unreliable motorcycle to these guys, would you? And that's like one of my, as an ad guy, it's one of my favorite things in history. So I think, yeah, he probably would be in there. And on the second one, we'll just run through the second one, would probably be Willie G in that regard, because he's kind of the same way, but in that corporate sense, right? When I think of Willie G, one of my favorite photos of him was right after they did the buyback. It's actually in his book. You have all of the executives, like clean-cut, clean-shaven, sitting around a table in their suits, and then like, in the back stands Willie G with like, long hair and his beard and his unbuttoned shirt. And it's, you know, working in like corporate area that I always kind of felt and like identified with that personality. And obviously, he, you know, his team designed the Evo, and like he was part of the buyback, and he kind of made Harley what it was during that era too. I mean, how many times did they come close to bankruptcy and came out of it okay? So those are my two.
He would definitely be on my Rushmore list.
Yeah, for sure. I liked it. Rushmore.
And he's still so influential to this day. I mean, he just put out a book. They just celebrated it at the homecoming. So yeah, the guy's a big deal. Yeah,
for sure. And he kind of like embraced that. He embraced that rebellious culture, right, that they were trying to work against. He like kind of took that in and said like, well, let's use this, and kind of turned it into what it is. I mean, even I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you guys have been to Harley Museum in Milwaukee.
Yep.
But they even have, like, going back to Wino Willie, they even have like a 42 flathead up there with Wino Willie's Booze Fighters MC jersey in the back.
Wow.
And like they make it part of the display because it kind of kickstarted this whole culture. So to me, it's kind of like they go hand in hand. Yeah, that's my two questions.
I think they're awesome. I think they're kind of, I mean, it's always interesting because here in the Black Hills, we have what we call the Legends Ride every year, and it is a bunch of people who have been, inducted into a variety of Hall of Fames or, important for a variety of different reasons. So it's always interesting. And not too many years ago, there was somebody who was the famous actor who was part of the Booze Fighters?
Robert Patrick.
Yes,
C-1000.
he was actually on one of the Legends rides a few years ago, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of like social media like videos about him. I'm going to right here, and he's got his cut on and everything. That's cool to see.
Yeah, he's done a lot of history. Like he's doing a lot of like the history videos. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's been a member for, 15 years maybe. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm.
My favorite story about Booze Fighters, this is just a small tangent, is we had a group from the Chicago area who stayed with us, and we had some guys that just had way too much fun, and I had just started kind of bartending. I hadn't been doing too much of it at the time. I was bartending that night, and some guys got into the booze a little too hard, and I'm not even joking. They're standing at the bar with his hand, and he takes 2 steps back, leans his head down, and just vomits all over the floor. He's standing at the bar, mind you, and vomits all over the floor. And I looked over, and I'm like, what the fuck did you just do? And he just was like blank staring at me. He has no idea. And I walked around, and I literally grabbed him by the ear like he's a small child, and I was like, get the out of here. I said, you're not allowed in here ever again. And I drug him out by his ear. I came back, and I got his friend and took him out of the bar. And these 2 guys are sitting over there, and they're just kind of watching this whole thing. In the meantime, I get everything cleaned up, and I come around the bar again, and I still stay in touch with both of these guys, but they're like, where'd you grow up? And I said, oh, small town, Martin, South Dakota, and they're like, we could use some bartenders like you in Chicago. Anytime you want to come up our direction.
That's awesome.
Like,
Mafia guys out of here.
Yeah.
Life
That's like a
was more
Roadhouse
my
story. You
speed.
almost became Dalton from Roadhouse. We like your style. You grab people by the ears and throw them out of the fucking bar. Like, yeah, come work for us in Chicago.
Oh, so funny. So who's next? Which direction are we going, clockwise or counterclockwise? Which way do you guys like it in
You're
Uranus?
the pro. You tell us.
I don't.
That means you're next, pal.
Andy got so
You're
confused.
Next. You're next.
For 1
Dave.
second, Andy got so confused. She was like, wait, what are you laughing about?
And my doctor will confirm that on my annual physical.
Yeah. Dave, you're next.
So, I don't know. We kind of talked about who we'd like to sit down with recently, and I think I'll stick with my number 1 would be Steve McQueen. I mean, a lot of people know that like he did the stunt in The Great Escape, but he was a huge motorcycle enthusiast. He used to race. Mm-hmm. I think he did mainly Indians and Triumphs. It's mostly what he
That
rode.
checks out.
But motorcycle stuff aside, I just like I think Steve McQueen should be in every Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's like it doesn't get cooler than Steve McQueen. My father-in-law. So my wife is from Sebring, Florida, and they have the raceway there. And he used to work. If you live there, you just work at some point, work the races. And he actually met Steve McQueen, and he said he is every bit, just standing in his presence, he's every bit as cool as you anticipate.
Yeah,
He had an answer for everything.
He's the guy's guy, right?
That's right. Yeah.
When I was young, everybody wanted to grow up to be Steve McQueen. Super
Yeah.
cool dude.
And he did a lot for Triumph too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think. Who was the guy? The guy from New Zealand in
Burt
the
Monroe.
'60s. Burt Monroe. Yep. Yep. Burt Monroe. 100%, dude. I mean what was his record? Was like 100 and somewhere around 190 miles an hour.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
In the 60s.
In the 60s.
With pistons that he was building, like, with his own molds that he made in his garage in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So did you guys actually talk about that in that the World's Fastest Indian as being one of the most iconic, like, motorcycles in media films? That scene where all of, like, the motorcycle club members from New Zealand, like, call him out to a race on the beach, and he has, like, a 30-second head start on him because he can't get pushed off and make it work, and then he just comes blowing by them at Mach Jesus. Like, I have no clue how fast he was going, but that's one of my favorite scenes in any movie, and he's like the nicest guy in the world. That's what made it even better. Anthony Hopkins portraying him as that was the nicest guy ever.
You couldn't have a motorcyclist Hall of Fame without Burt Monroe.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
100%.
Because he did everything himself at Bonneville. And he, like, made friends with Raleigh Free. You guys remember Raleigh Free, right? He was the one that was, like, the infamous hanging off the Superman style off the back of the bike to make it go faster in his underwear. Like, that's Raleigh Free. And, like, they made best friends, and they, like, helped him, get back on there and, like, keep it going. Because I think he had a malfunction or something at the first run in Bonneville. And then they just, like, made it work. That's a good one, actually. That's a really good one.
Yep. So there's my two.
Okay, well, like any great awards show, there are costume / wardrobe changes. So, my first inductee into what I'm calling the FDB Hall of Fame is going to be Laura Clock. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who that is.
Laura Clock?
Yeah. Do you know who that is?
No.
I was waiting. Baby had me on the edge of my seat. I was waiting for this.
Prentice, do you know who she is?
No.
Okay, so this will be awesome because
I'm ready.
So Laura Clock is actually was the wife of Brian Clock of Clockworks.
That was so. I was gonna guess, but I didn't want to be wrong. Does that make sense?
So,
okay.
But that's not why she's being inducted into said Hall of Fame, because she is in fact in multiple Hall of Fames for all of her own doing and all of her own work. So Laura Clock has actually set land speed records at Bonneville multiple times. Actually, she's beaten her own record a few times, and in turn, both of her daughters have actually set land speed records at Bonneville. So she actually started racing when I'm not sure if it was right around the time that she started dating / married Brian Clock, or before or after, but so she that's kind of her claim to fame. And in turn, what I think is most interesting about what she's done is she's taken that and she has done a ton of things. Well, obviously being married to Brian Clock is one thing. I mean, they have an amazing product. And I admire that product mostly because it's what I would consider local. South Dakota, anything that's within our four walls is definitely considered local. So it's always interesting. What was that?
Oh, we stayed in Mitchell on the way out.
Oh, yeah. So, but then in turn, she's done a lot of different things. Like she started the Buffalo Chip Bells, and that's a ride for women riders every year out of the Buffalo Chip during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. But I think one of the things that I most admire about her would be she has a nonprofit that she started it's called Helping with Horsepower, and it is a 3-tiered program. One, just helping people who have received trauma or who have disabilities with actual horses, bringing an actual horse into it, so therapy horse riding. And then they do bike building for both veterans as well as in schools to teach kids how to work with their hands and get them involved in something other than what you would consider your traditional 4-year college program, so getting them into things like welding and mechanics and different things like that. So I just think that she's done a lot for women, both on the riding component, but also on the philanthropy component of it, and also her being from South Dakota, or she's not originally from South Dakota, she's actually originally from Wisconsin, but lived most of her life in South Dakota once she got married to Brian Clock. So that would be my number one. And the first wardrobe change is, in fact, Clockworks flannel from Dixon. So let me just kind of show you. And I am wearing these overalls because Prentice said that we were wearing overalls tonight. So fuck you for not doing that. But don't worry, I don't have camel toe. I had to check that coming on tonight.
You're gonna want to go to YouTube. I'm just saying.
This is why we're going back to YouTube, is because you want to make sure I don't have camel toe tonight. I think.
I don't know.
And I did turn off my air conditioner earlier because we had a hum from it, and it's getting hot in here. I may take off all my clothes.
So is that a new thing for Five Dirty Bikers? Is camel toe check?
Yeah, we should.
For a low price. For a price.
It's the toe or the tail.
Yeah. You can't. No, yeah. We got to market this for sure.
Oh my God.
All good. Okay. So, my second inductee and so Clockworks was my first outfit. My second outfit is overalls, but I'm from the 90s, so I only wear one.
Wait, hold on. Another layer's coming off.
You want to go to YouTube, guys.
What are we doing? What's going on here?
Okay, for my second inductee, just also because I think that I've always thought about this particular person, and I have always had a special place in my heart for her. Because she is a female, but number two, I see a lot. I hope to see myself, and I hope to replicate the things that she did in the future, and I hope that I'm making the right steps now to do that. But that is the First Lady of Sturgis, which is Pearl Hole, which is Pappy Hole's wife. And Pappy Hole, if you don't know, he is the father of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which started in 1937. He actually started it because he ran an ice store, basically, and that's about the time refrigeration came about. And he loved motorcycles, so he started an Indian motorcycle shop in Sturgis. And his wife, Pearl, to supplement their income so he could do what he loved and supported him, she actually did a variety of things like teaching. She was clerk of courts. She was register of deeds for the city and the county in Sturgis. And she really became the First Lady of Sturgis, and she actually passed away in 2004, at the age of 99.
Wow.
She had spent at least some time at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally since it had started in 1937. They did take a short period of time off during World War II. For obvious reasons. But she was really known for being the person that started kind of the idea of community during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. They would do free lunches in their yard, which inevitably it outgrew that very quickly in the 90s. They really had to stop doing it once it got to be too large. I think she's always appreciated, and she's always enjoyed the motorcycle culture and what that brings to the community. And she saw it transform over many years. I mean, she saw it in the 30s when it was just a couple of people showing up for a race. That's how the motorcycle rally started. But then how it transformed into what it is today. And in the 80s and 90s, if you guys aren't aware, there was a lot of violence that was happening at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, so she got to see all of that, to where now it is very commercialized, a little bit more even family friendly, if you want to call it that. But she was the person who was involved in starting the rally every year on that first Friday. Well, it used to start on the first Monday of August, but now the first Friday of August. And on the flat track races, she, for years and years, she would go out and do the first lap before the race started. And I don't know, but I don't think that she actually ever rode her own motorcycle. She actually preferred to be in a sidecar along with Pappy, which I always thought was really interesting because I actually think sidecars would be terrifying. But, so she would be my second inductee, and I think the reason why is because, like I said, I I would love to do what she's doing on some level, obviously a much smaller level because the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally already exists, but being able to do that same kind of community and the same type of atmosphere at the Iron Horse Inn where I work, that would be awesome, you know, to be able to have even a small percentage of what she created. And I think the one thing that one of her famous lines that she said years ago is when in the early 30s during the Great Depression, she was taking fresh beef out to people who needed it, and she got a flat tire, and in the process of taking out some of this beef, to get to the spare tire and jack, a pack of coyotes surrounded her, and they began to howl and whatnot, and she was able to handle the whole situation. But one of the things that she was quoted saying many times, whether it be in books or to the press, is that being surrounded by those coyotes was even more exciting than riding two-up with Pappy, which was her husband. And I always kind of found that to be kind of cute and kind of very innocent, that, you know, everything that she did came back to her husband. So I thought that was pretty awesome. But, so, my third wardrobe change.
Hold on. Wait. So hang on. Wait, before we go any further, I have a question and then
It's
a statement,
getting hot.
right? I know. So
What's
the
that?
question is, was she a sidecar like racer, like those gnarly
No.
people that hang off this?
No, I don't think so.
Because that would be really sick. The statement, Andi, if you have 3 more people in this Hall of Fame, we need to. This becomes OnlyFans.
Yes. It will be Patreon only.
And that's it. Like, this
'Cause
episode
we're-
cannot be released to the public.
I mean, we're
That's
running
okay.
out of
That's all right.
we're running out of
That's
buttons.
right.
This is
We'll have to give them a password to log in. Hey,
Yes.
that's
All right.
that's
Yeah,
how
okay.
you can we can monetize this shit. They have to have a password to log in to watch the video.
Sweet. And next week I'll take my shirt off.
to see the
38
So,
cents.
My third wardrobe
We'll get
change
38
is-
cents.
I kind of
My
like
third-
that idea. To see the FDB camel toe check, you've got to
That's
you
right.
got to pony up,
That's right.
right?
Oh, shit. And thank God, you know, I'm married, because Lord only knows. But my third wardrobe change is in memory of her. So I was not regularly attending the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Her last year at the rally was 2004. I was not there. I was in Seattle, Washington, living my best life at the time. But this is the Affliction shirt of Sturgis Motorcycle.
There you go.
Look, I hope. Gotta hold that up. Of the 84th, which is 2024. So, you don't need to flash anybody.
We're going to
so
get kicked
20
off
years,
YouTube, aren't we?
Straight up.
Just getting back on YouTube.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
20
YouTube was
years.
fun.
Anniversary of her passing. So those would be the two people that I would induct into my personal motorcycle Hall of Fame.
Andy,
Okay.
I am speechless, and it has nothing to do with your 3 nominees. But that's
Right.
It's probably because how I
was
can
amazing.
say something so meaningful about somebody who I admire and still be so sleazy all at the same time.
yeah, it's not that.
It's a delicate
It's a
balance.
delicate balance. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. When 2 people say it, it must be true.
Oh man.
Back together.
One person's a rumor, two persons
Just
reality.
this one side.
Yeah.
All right.
To keep this PG, you have to put everything back on and then start talking about the next people on the list.
It's too hot in here for that flannel.
Yeah.
All right. Dustin,
It's
you're
too
up,
hot
buddy.
in here, and I'm not wearing.
I know.
flannel.
Yeah. I live in Florida, and this is uncomfortably warm.
Oh my God.
Oh shit!
My wife
I'm
is
up.
watching me right here, like right
Oh,
here. I'm just kidding. No, I lock her out of this room.
Yeah.
This is the man cave.
Your wife's like, she better not have another nominee. She better
Yeah.
not have another nominee.
She has her ear. She has her ear to the door right now. I can hear it. I can hear it.
Shit.
What happens in the man cave stays in the man cave.
Well, I sent
For
Greg away,
$49
so
a month on OnlyFans.
I sent Greg out of the house, so I can do whatever I want.
Nice.
Jesus. All right, so I'm up. Okay,
You're up.
so
I hope so.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm going to throw 3 out, but
Take your shirt off.
mention. I'll go sleeveless. How about that? So I'm gonna honorable mention Prentice here because he did have one of my. I'm gonna throw out the 3, but he already had one in Willie G.
Word.
He's such an influential dude. But I'm gonna do one that's kind of controversial and one that's a little more on celebrity status, like Steve McQueen. That's Evel Knievel.
Oh yeah.
In the
Yeah,
60s and 70s, that guy was just.
You got to have evil.
Even if you weren't, a motorcyclist yourself, that's something you tuned into, and everybody got a hold of. Evel Knievel doing stunts.
And he had great toys. the evil Knievel
Hey, Andy,
toys,
did you
man.
pull one of those out of somebody's Uranus?
Yeah. Back to Uranus. Back to Uranus we go.
Well, I'll never get away from that place. Yeah. But I'm gonna
Jump
this
right
next-
in that canyon.
Oh yeah, it's hard to get out. It's slippery.
Oh.
Just a little
Okay,
higher
so-
pitch than we thought it was going to be.
So number 3, this might be controversial because it follows the club scene, but I would say Sonny Barger.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Just because
yeah.
even kind of like with Evel Knievel, even if you're not really infused into the motorcycle culture, you know him of the time that he was, notoriously famous.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
Yeah.
That's
Just because I mean the club scene, it's just so big and you don't realize it. Everybody that's got a cut on knows about the man. And he's even been featured still in TV shows. He was on Sons of Anarchy still, so the guy's still relevant too.
And number 4, Jax Teller.
That was my number 1. He's going on.
Yeah, right?
He's going where George
Jax
Washington's
can't
head
come
is.
in. Not going to come in.
no.
He's gonna get
Yeah,
a
I'm
hold
going
of
to get
this.
spiked going down the road tomorrow.
Yes, you
Yep.
are.
It's going to happen. I know that guy.
I've already got an idea for the graphic for this show too, so that'll be cool. I took pictures of Rushmore when I was out there, so this will be fun.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
idea, yeah.
Yep,
That would be good.
I got
I'm
it.
excited
An
to see what
8-headed
happens.
Mount
with that.
Rushmore? That's scary.
Do it. Do it. 8-headed.
Well,
pretty good
anatomically
list.
correct.
I think these are all like, and it makes me think, like, Andy makes me think of people that also that you wouldn't think that were like honorable mentions, right? Let's go with honorable mentions. Just throw them out there.
Jesse James,
Word, that's a good one.
yeah.
That is a great one.
David Mann could be in there, maybe, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe,
David
he might-
Mann would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because, like, you know, like from the earliest ages, you find the hidden stash of Easy Riders. It's like the Centerfold's great, but also the David Mann paintings. Like, I had one forever, and like some of his are a lot of the ones that I love were centered around Florida too. Like, and I can still, like, he had one for like St. Petersburg. He had obviously a bunch for Bike Week, and even then, like even at a young age, like I would look at those and be like, that's awesome. Like I want to do that. I want to I want to be there. David Mann's super influential.
yeah.
That's a really
I mean,
good
it's
one.
like
actually.
all these people were influential for their own reason to be on the Rushmore head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's very personal on how we compile this list, but I mean everybody we've mentioned has been a banger or contender.
Totally. And then there's an entire scene that we roll over, right? Like when you think of like the sport bike scene,
Yeah.
and or like the racing scene, right? Like Nikki Hayden, like
Yeah.
to mention people like that, like that's that there's an entire. I'm interested to see what people think, and if you want to let us know what you think and kick in on the discussion, we have an entire place where you can do that. And what's it called?
Discord.
Uranus.
Uranus.
Go to Uranus and tell us all about it. Get lost in Uranus. No, go to the Discord. There's a whole
even
thread
an
on like,
obituary. There's an obituary in here too.
Is there?
Oh,
Somebody died.
I don't want to know how they died.
I think
Please
this
be a
is
fake
joke,
name
though.
like the. Is it like the Bart Simpson like fake? Please, go for
Well,
it.
the person's name is Amanda Love.
Oh yeah, Amanda Love in Uranus. I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
this is
that's
fake
not
as hell.
real, but if it is real, we're very sorry for the Love family. Our condolences.
The
Little
Seymour
too much
Butts
love in
family from
Uranus.
Uranus.
So,
Way too
so here's an interesting. I mean, I know that. Pearl was obviously local to me, but like somebody who is in your area now, like within like maybe your state or your county, whatever, is there somebody that you guys live close to that you currently like still like if you were to meet or are in awe of? I mean, because I have that experience all the time here where somebody will be like, oh, you know who that is? You know, that's so and so, and they build or they do X, Y, and Z. But that's because of where I live. But I'm always curious of what it's like because in other places, I mean, especially like down in Florida, motorcycling is huge down there. You guys have a couple motorcycle shows a year, rallies a year.
Yeah.
I'm just always interested in it. Not the people who have already been inducted or who everybody knows, but there's always
Right.
those small community people who are making a difference. Who would you shout out if you had that opportunity?
I live outside of D.C. The only thing I'd shout out is, oh, there's that motherfucker. You don't get a lot of people that
Put him on the
awe.
Mount Rushmore. That motherfucker on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
An anonymous face. And
Piece of
it's
shit.
funny because like being in Daytona, there's a ton of people, right? A lot of which, for me personally, like are in like that club style scene, right? Because that's kind of how like Daytona. We talk about how Sturgis got its start. You talk about how Daytona got its start, right? And so like the club culture is huge here, and there's a lot of like local legends here that I don't think would appreciate like mentioning names, but like yeah, I mean there's a lot of people that are like wow, like there's a lot of history there that about either in a notorious fashion or not. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then there's decent builders down here too that just they don't really get the fame or the glory. It's just like they're good people, and they come in this area and they build some really cool shit. Like one of the legends here, like we have Willie's Tropical Tattoo, like that's one of the best shows in Daytona, like and people look forward to it every year. And he travels to other shows. What's the one that they just had? I'll think of the name in a minute, but it's a little bit up north. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy, and I'll probably look it up while someone else is talking. But like he goes to there, and like people know who he is, and like people respect that show. So that's probably another one of the good local legends here. What about you, Dustin?
I do know that the oldest motorcycle club was founded in our state, and I don't know the gentleman's name who founded the Outlaws, but that might be on the list. I don't really know. There are a lot of clubs here, especially in the Riverbend area, St. Louis area, but I don't know. I would say that. It might be a get back to you type situation here. I'm not really...
Yeah. It's one that's like, it's hard to think of on the spot because like you have the normal names that everyone goes to, right? And that's
Yeah.
and throughout history, they're like the largest names, but then like there are so many great builders and people locally too, like in every, because we pretty much have all areas covered, so especially out west too, right? Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was good. It's always good to get people thinking. And it's I like it's like I said, it's like a date thing, right? Like who's your favorite? What's your favorite? So like I have a feeling that those of you listening will go and let us know either A, local legends, B, if you agree with some of the ones that we named, C, you wish that Andi had 4 more names on her list.
4 more names, yeah.
Or D, just like, like you don't know what you're talking about. It's just the names that everybody says. So I'm curious to see what you think for sure.
I think the people who probably inspire me the most are the people who aren't as well known but have made a name for themselves in the motorcycle community in a very unique way. That's why I think that I love Laura Clock. I think that what she's done and how and getting her kids involved as soon as they could at the age of 14, because they got to race Bonneville at 14, but that's because in South Dakota you can get your driver's license at 14. So they were racing, they were doing land speed racing at 14, and she was teaching her children, her 2 young daughters, how to be safe and how to ride motorcycle and getting involved in a very different way than what you would think when you would think of like clockworks. You know what I mean? So it was very cool to learn about her, and I got to meet her a few years ago, and I had no idea who she was at the time, and I just happened to be walking by, and people were chatting with her, and Greg's like, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "I don't know who that is," and I went up and I was 100% honest with her. I was like, I don't even know what land speed racing is. I've never heard of Bonneville. Like, I have no idea why you're so important. And she's like, well, come here, I'll show you. Like, she took me over. She spent like 10 minutes with me, who wasn't a fan of hers, to teach me something, versus all these people who knew who she was, and she could have spent 10 minutes with somebody who already loved her and admired her. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I wouldn't call them the underdogs necessarily. I think they're the ones who are doing a different type of work for the community are the ones that I kind of enjoy a little bit more. So
yeah, totally. I mean, there's like an inspirational. Well, and Burt Monroe is another one of those, right? Like he started out as just some dude that built an entire bike in his garage, shipped it to America, ran Bonneville, broke it, tried again, and set some records. Like, it's just there's so many of those stories. It's interesting to hear them for sure.
Pardon my short eyeballs, but is that a picture of fucking Gilligan in the SS Minnow behind you?
That is. Yeah.
That's awesome. I need that.
Gilligan, and then hold on.
Yeah,
Pee-wee.
there's some
This is the wall in my secret room.
Herman?
Pee-wee. Yeah, Pee-wee.
Nice.
It's huge.
Oh, Lon Chaney, the Wolfman.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, that's nice.
Who's
And
on the
then
bike?
the
Is
old-
it somebody on a bike
Boris
or behind a drum
Karloff?
kit?
No, yeah, so that's a bike. It's the Tikis. It says riding in packs, the Tikis should be avoided. It's like an old like banner from the Tikis MC back in I don't know, like maybe mid 70s, in the 70s. Yeah.
Very cool.
I don't think they're existing anymore, but it's in a tiki room, so it's only, perfect for the flow of the room, I guess. And then I got something really cool today. Do you want to see it? If you're on YouTube, you can check it out. I'm going to stand up. I don't have a camel toe. Hang on.
You got pants on.
Prove it.
Yeah, last time I didn't have pants on. This time I have pants on. And a beautiful Five Dirty Bikers shirt, which you can buy at the store. Anything Five Dirty Bikers. So check this out. I just picked this up. It's called Harley Rider. It's a comic book, and it's like issue 1. I'm thinking it dates back to the 80s, but I think it's supposed to be Willie G on the bike. Can you see it?
Oh.
I see a
Like
resemblance.
with just a mustache, but the resemblance is there.
Looks like a leprechaun.
A little bit like a. It looks like a. Well, back then it would have been WWF, but like WWF wrestler and a leprechaun put together.
Is that our
for
good
sure.
friend Gorilla Biker on that?
See? And so you
Okay.
go through, and like in this issue, it has like all of the. It's got like a comic for like how they started, and like all different stuff. I picked it up on. What's that app that you can pick shit up on? Whatnot
Temu?
or something like that.
Wow.
No, not Temu. It's like called. I
So
think it's
all
called
I
Whatnot
can
or
say is
something.
now I'm hungry,
Perfect.
because my favorite breakfast in the entire world is the Pee Wee Herman breakfast.
Everything, and you take one bite of cereal.
Yes. Love it. With the biggest spoon humanly
Biggest
imagined.
spoon, man. Like the wooden spoon your mom used to beat your ass with that hung on the wall.
That's an iconic scene. Pee Wee in the biker bar, dude, dancing to tequila on the thing.
It is.
Yeah.
I've sung tequila karaoke one time, and
All right,
it is
put Pee Wee on Mount
amazing.
Rushmore.
Yeah, put him on there.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Paul
dude.
Rubens.
Straight
Oh
up.
my
I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
Yeah.
I think first time I saw Pee Wee Herman was in, I think it was Up in Smoke.
Wait,
The
he's
Cheech and
in
Chong
Up in
movie?
Smoke?
Yeah.
He was in that
What part
movie?
is he in
I think
that?
it's Up in Smoke, where he's trying to call the cops on the guys, and then he's like, I think they're Iranians, and all of a sudden the cops come out of, because it was during the,
I got it on
around
DVD
the,
upstairs. I gotta go
you
watch
have to go-
this.
Dude, I know.
Check it out.
Like you're blowing my mind because I cannot think. I think like he always pops up in like random places. In fact,
yeah.
Pee Wee usually does.
I know Pee Wee usually does. Do you
He had a
know?
problem
And
with
I
that.
love. I'm a huge. Right, he did. In fact, do you know where he got arrested? Was in Daytona.
Was that where it was? I thought it was in California.
No, it was. He got arrested at Daytona also.
Do you have to pay to go see that spot like they do where Wild Bill Hickok?
Oh no! I mean, you could pay, but you definitely don't want to go see that spot. It should be turned into like this thing. Yeah.
No, we
Pay
don't want
to
to see
see.
Pee Wee spot.
The wooden sign out front hanging from the, the building.
Come see Pee Wee spot. Preserved for 42 years.
Sign spinner.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like local
hilarious.
lore. I know exactly where it is in Daytona. So if you come down for Bike Week, link up
You
with
been
me.
there?
We'll take a ride by.
So that's an adult theater?
It used to
was
be, or
then.
it still is. One of the two. I can't
Do they,
remember.
I mean, do they even have adult theaters anymore? I mean, porn's free on the internet. Did they put those guys out of business?
So I was
Like
just
the ones with
driving
the peep
up to
shows?
Tennessee.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
I
no.
think they still
I'm,
exist.
I'm talking about the movie houses, the adult movie houses.
Isn't that a brothel?
I don't know about that.
That's where Pee Wee got caught. What's that? What'd you say?
Isn't that just called a brothel?
In a brothel, you're in the movie.
No,
Oh.
no. That's
Oh.
that's called the tryout house.
I did
No.
see though, Dave, when I was going up to Tennessee. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this. I got to see Dave halfway up to Tennessee at random.
I
Yes.
saw that.
Creeper? Stalker?
I know. I don't know who's stalking who though, because I was definitely pulling out as you were.
Dude,
so I was definitely there first.
You were leaning out your truck screaming at me, so I'm pretty sure you were
You didn't want
stalking
to
me.
have any little
How
days
could I
you
not?
needed to pull out.
Yeah. I knew.
Did you wring out his feet while you were there?
Oh my god! I didn't get close enough.
No, yeah. That was, yeah, but let's not talk about that.
Oh, poor Dave. That was a
I
good.
have
You know
made
what?
a
It was
lot of
good,
money
though.
on OnlyFans from showing my feet,
Oh,
though.
only
Just
feet.
to say.
Yeah.
Only feet.
So wait, 2 out of 4 of us can start an OnlyFans, and why haven't we done this yet?
Who are the two?
Well, it's not me and Dustin.
When I'm at home, I wear
Oh wait,
ankle
it's happening. It's happening.
This way. Yeah.
It's
When I'm
happening.
at
Go to
home, I wear
YouTube.
ankle weights to tone my glutes and my hammies.
Wait, you just walk around with them?
Yeah. Yeah, and then when I'm sitting here, I just kind of lift them up. Constant
Wait,
movement.
do you have those on right now?
Oh yeah.
You have ankle weights
Get your
on
legs
right now.
up there.
Is that ankle weights or is that a house arrest?
Oh, I thought
bracelet?
those were cuffs in your jeans.
No, Greg, the cuffs that Greg used, those are different. They've got little fur around them. These are just ankle
Oh, okay.
weights.
Bet.
They got pink fuzzy material.
If you
Yeah.
take that off, will they
You
come
just
get
took
you?
you took that comment a completely different direction. Those were not the cuffs I was talking about. But that's okay.
Oh, I wasn't. It wasn't
Thanks for
clear.
sharing.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you're talking about adult playhouses and OnlyFans. I thought that's the route we were going. Sorry.
No worries.
As I put my
It's
clothes
a new
back on.
it's a new direction
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're taking.
Now I pissed her off and she's putting her clothes back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
The show's almost over. So I
And out comes the examiner. Big fun in Uranus.
Dustin, what are you covering up there with that paper, bro?
Want to be famous in Uranus? That's
Oh,
what I
this-
saw on the back of that.
This is the best part. This is the best part. Uranus Dental and Proctology Clinic.
Wow.
So $25.
Yeah,
$25
same guy. Oh.
for prostate exam and teeth cleaning. $5 extra to change gloves.
As long as pay cash, insurance doesn't have to cover it. Everybody wins.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
the
hope
guy
he cut
looks
his
legit.
nails.
Look at him.
Wait.
He looks legit.
Oh wow. Wait, what's his name? Dr. Corn? Dr. Corn?
Dr. Cornhole?
Dr. Corn.
Is it Dr. Corn for real?
No, there's no name on here. No.
comes out the same way it went in.
The evil Dr. Keen.
It's the mayor trying to make an extra buck.
Well, speaking of cornhole, Dustin and I just got back from having a good time out in Waynesville.
Did you guys play cornhole? Were you guys on the same
Yeah, we
team
put some
or
bags.
different
We
teams?
put some bags in some holes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
For you.
That looked like a good time. So were you guys there all weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we got there Friday, and I stayed to the bitter end yesterday. It was a Hogs and Frogs Festival in Waynesville.
It's
We were up
actually
there.
a good time.
It is.
It looked like it.
Hanging out with our good friends over at the Veterans MC. Hey, Bubba and Ray, we missed you, bro. But understand why you weren't there. But yeah, we had a great time, and it was. We were really nervous because the weather prediction was super fucked up. It was supposed to rain solid the whole weekend, and it didn't.
It looked beautiful in the video that you took.
Yeah. Was, I would say Friday was dry. Saturday we were worried about because we woke up in the morning and we're like, oh God, it's going to be bad.
It blew out.
It blew out. Blue skies come out. It got hot. It got really hot.
And then yesterday, I know it was raining when because you guys left early, but by 9 o'clock, man, it was blue skies and it got hot again. But yeah, it was great. It was really good.
So they had car show, bike show. They had a monster truck giving rides in like harnessed seats. Yeah.
So how many of these events could we like jousting? How many of these events could we steal for our event?
Oh God.
Oh no, dude, we're not doing jousting at our event. No.
That was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And what else did they have? They had slow races, right?
Slow race and keg
barrel
pushing.
roll or keg push. They had what was the other one?
It was like wooden plank. Yeah, they had to ride all across the wooden plank.
Planks that kept getting more narrow.
What? Did anybody drop it?
Yeah, both wheels across the whole thing to qualify for the next round. Yep.
Yeah, they had 2 guys that dropped during the games.
Oh, the
I got one on
games were
video.
Fun.
At the Double Stone run, they did slow races. They did slow races 1 up, 2 up, and 3 up, which was very interesting.
Races?
Yeah, they did 1 up, 2 up, and 3 up, and it was very interesting to watch the 3 up. There were some people who were really squeezed onto some bikes, and there was one young guy. He had just purchased a 1998 1998 Honda Goldwing, and there was 3 men on that Goldwing, and they were comfortable. There was so much space. They were living their best life. I think they actually won the 3 up. But one of the cool races that they did at Devil Stone was they did a foot race. So you had to run up to your bike and then push your bike, not get on it, but you had to push your bike to the finish line, which was fun to watch too, because they did that at the end of the night where people had a lot of stuff.
Well, the one thing they didn't do the bite the wiener contest.
I was going to ask. That was one of my questions.
Yeah,
they did that in Uranus.
Comment on that. And and also we should give a shout out. Dustin, help me remember. We had the FDB community came out to show up and spend time with us and stuff. So we had John Doe, we had Jay, we had both Jays.
The double J.
Oh.
Right, the two J and Chad. My Fat Bob buddy. Who am I missing?
What's his Discord? Is that Adventure?
Chad Adventure Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's done a lot of fabrication work on his Fat Bob. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so.
When they show up, it's fine. When I do it, it's stalking.
Yeah, you stalk. Yeah.
Is it because, it's because it was 400 miles from home.
It's because you're leaning out your truck screaming at me, dude. I don't know who the hell you were. I'm out in the
What do you want me to
nowhere.
do? Run up to you and take your helmet off? I'm here, motherfucker.
But yeah,
Look
we
at me.
appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
And Studio Z.
Yep.
Yeah.
The wife and the kids had fun. They had fun in Uranus.
I was just going to ask if the family went with you, Dustin.
Oh yeah, they did. We all took the car. I rode the bike to work, and they picked me up in the car, so we just took one vehicle.
Yeah,
but it was
they got
fun
there,
though.
and Dustin dropped the kids, and Dustin and Jackie dropped the kids off at the pool when they got there.
Dude, speaking of, I had never been so regular on a getaway or vacation as I was out in Waynesville. On command, I was just dropping chocolate.
I'm jealous.
Usually, if I go to Florida, my biological clock down here gets off, and I go a day or two. And I had to. Maybe it was the fudge.
We should change the age rating on the podcast of 40 and up.
Well, I thought this went really nice tonight. This is really smooth. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and it could just be a coincidence that Ryan's not here. But it was a really fun time hanging out with you guys tonight.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin, over to you, my friend.
Okay, then we out of here then. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Five Dirty Bikers Podcast. Thank you, still Andy and Just Prentice, for joining us again another week. Everybody else,
Peace.
Go to Discord. Join. It's free. Go to fivedirtybikers.com. Check out our merch. See the upcoming news. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and look us up on TikTok at Five Dirty Bikers. Till next time, fuck off.
And be on the lookout for the new OnlyFans, FDB OnlyFans account.
Live from Uranus.
Link
Live
on
from
the
Uranus. Camel toe.
Bye, guys.